We're super excited to have Katy Vernon from Favorite. I'm going to gracefully pass the mic over. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Oh, the pencil fell out, and I feel like...
Oh, I nearly told... Yeah, I'm going to come over there. Well, we're just going to...
MacGyver it?
Yeah, you start answering the question until... we're just going to jump in right away and say you've been on a couple times before, and so we know a little bit about you already.
It's been a while.
Tell us about Favorite Girl.
So, thank you so much for having me on. Favorite Girl is a project that has been at least 2 years, I think, in the making. You want me to switch over to this one?
Yeah, but no, that one fell over.
I know. I'm sorry.
Welcome to College Radio.
All of
Awesome.
the microphones are just like completely fainting
they're little...
when they see me. I'm wondering how you got this.
They
pencil.
swoon. I know, I have MacGyvered it. I'm going to give you that one for now.
Okay.
And I'm so glad I'm on the video for this, and I'm going to fix this, and then we'll swap.
Okay, and I'll speak into this one. So yeah, I had a band, and thank you for having me on in the past. The Katy Vernon band was going for about 10 years, which is amazing to think about. We made 3 albums together, and I would play solo sometimes too. But then after all of the craziness of 2020, we postponed and took a break all of 2020, and then we came back together in 21 and played a few gigs, which was a ton of fun. But we had really grown apart over the pandemic timing, and some of that was in a good way. Simon Husbands, who still is in the ABBA band that I'm in with me, he was writing a lot more. He released his own solo record that year, and we just kind of ran out of steam. And I had lots of, I really felt like I was going in more of a pop rock ragey direction, and so I kind of knew that I wanted the songs to just feel really powerful and fresh, and that they were bigger, more difficult songs than I could perform solo on the ukulele. And I knew I needed a rock band, and the more I thought about it, I could only ever envision other women being in that rock band. And so I just got kind of obsessed with that idea, and I called it Favorite Girl before it even properly existed. And then, it took a couple of years to find the right players. There was one guy in the band, Paul Odegaard, on trumpet. He's my musical buddy. He was in the Katy Vernon band for about 10 years.
He's played with you for a long time.
Yeah. And we would do the odd, at first we thought they were very odd, ukulele and trumpet duo gigs. Our first one was at the Cedar. Speaking of the Cedar, definitely go see Ben Cook-Phelps today. It's very, very fun. And we thought it was an odd kind of grouping, but it actually works quite well. 2 strange little instruments together, and they're not strange, but they're not together as often as you would think. So yeah, now we are a real band. We've got a few gigs under our belt starting last summer. And we have our first single out already, which has been out for a couple of months, and our brand new one coming soon, which you guys have already debuted.
I know, we played
which is very
and danced too.
Yeah.
Already. It was great.
Yes.
And I love can you tell us about the video, because I love seeing that.
Yeah, thank you. Well, so the song is called Not Going Back. And, part of starting a new band was also that I just didn't want it to all be about me. I wanted to, involve other band members, kind of build a new, fun, exciting little community. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, I want lots of people to dive on in if they want, and kind of create a visual chorus. So it's basically, I started out by making a lyric video, and I thought, well, the chorus is the same. Every single chorus says not going back. So I felt like it would be fun to include photos of anyone and everyone who wanted to hold up a sign saying not going back, and really just be a communal kind of rallying cry that we should constantly try to make our future better than it is and not go backwards.
What has been the response to that? Because it's been fun to see the pictures.
It's been good. It's been mixed, and I fully am open to, I don't want it to look like virtue signaling. I don't want it to look like, oh, we're doing nothing except holding up a sign. I completely understand if anyone would see it that way. I would hope that they would know it's not that. It really is just a case of, every single person who has, kind of put their hand up and said they want to be a part of it, that phrase means something to them, and I'm not going to second guess and micromanage what that means to them. But I think they're joining a chorus, literally, of people saying that it's important to them to not go backwards in society. And, you know, yes, it's very political, but it also, you know, means different things to different people.
Well, and I think sometimes what starts off looking like virtual signaling can be somebody's first step into doing more.
Exactly. That's what I would hope. And, you know, we're all on a learning curve. You know, I mean, I never feel like I do enough. But I do feel like, you know, I've kind of stopped apologizing or minimizing when people say, I want to be a part of what you're doing because I like what you're doing and you have a voice and an outlet that I don't currently have. I'd love to be a part of it. And who am I to say, well, that's not important. You know, what I'm doing means nothing. Obviously, I think it means something. I wrote a song, you know, I recorded it. And I'm excited about the message that I think the song conveys. So hopefully it's just a first step of people going, I'm gonna put my face and my name out there to stand for something, and beyond that, hopefully they do more.
Well, and I think for some folks, it's easy for us in the Twin Cities to put our face and put our names to some of these things, but I have friends in rural areas where they're a lot less comfortable with that. You know, so even just having the power to do something small, as I said, that helps, and that can be the next step to doing even more and more.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, you know, I'm open to understanding if people see it that way. And the older I get, and really just kind of the more bold I get with, you know, writing these songs and putting myself out there, I'm okay with criticism. Like, that's been a long journey. I'm still working towards, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And you know what? That's okay. Because more than half this country just voted against having a woman in charge. There's going to be a lot of people that don't like me and dig what I'm doing, but I'm not going to crawl up and apologize and, you know, hide under the covers. I'm going to still do what I'm going to do.
I was going to say, I remember Ann and I having a conversation too after we saw Katy perform the Unrestricted, when you were all doing male songs, and you blew my mind. And just the empowerment that you had, the performance and everything. And it was...
Well, it was so fun because I was, you know, channeling Elvis of all people.
Really?
And it's just, that was a great evening that Liz Winstead put together.
If you could say a few more words about it, because it is an amazing night.
Liz Winstead is an incredible comedian, and she was the co-founder of The Daily Show. She's just a brilliant, brilliant, funny person, and she leads up Abortion Access Front. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. And she's good best friends with Maggie McPherson, who is just a total, just fierce person in the local music scene. And they've done it a few times now where they put on an evening of women singing sexist songs by men and reclaiming them. And so, I put on my leather jumpsuit and got my hair done up in a pompadour, which is the first and last time I did that. And just had a lot of fun with it. You know, sometimes sexist songs are very obvious, and you know, you kind of avoid the hair metal, kind of really offensive stuff. But there's the more subtle stuff that, you know, we grew up with, and as little girls and as teenagers and even as grown women, you know, we kind of sing along to, and you don't realize this is really toxic. And this is not okay. And so it was a night of poking fun at that, but also, you know, really amazing all-female house band playing the heck out of the songs, you know, and that's where a lot of the power is too. I mean, that's what excites me about playing music is, you know, we're not out to bash people or make fun of people, but we're out to just, you know, make the music our own and have our voices heard. And sometimes when you're very sarcastic, singing, you know, toxic lyrics, it breaks through because people are not used to girls and women not behaving themselves and not being nice. So
what's nice is you hear different generations of music. going from before me and after me, you know, and I think that's awesome too, because you know,
really fun.
It's an opportunity for everybody to see, you know, you say some of them, I am 16 going on 17 are you know,
right.
Well,
Well, you know, I'm in an ABBA cover band, and you know, we perform "Does Your Mother Know?" and it's like, that's really not an okay song, but you know, it's kind of a crowd favorite, but it's all, you know, it's pretty bad if you listen to the lyrics. So I'm guilty of it too.
I think I have to say that you are such a champion, because people don't know we've had a little technical issue, but I think we're all good now. Should we play the new song?
This is why I talked a lot. If people are like, damn, that woman talks a lot, she doesn't even let them ask a question. I was trying to fill time.
And so professionally, yes. And then I call you up to know, because we appreciate that. All right.
Thank you. Now I'll take a breath.
So we'll listen to Not Going Back by Katy Vernon.
Here we go.
It's that 2 seconds that make us gray, Katy.
I remember for a while, nobody told me to smile.
Thank you. Usually something goes wrong. Not usually this much in one.
It's so exciting to finally have these songs done. And now we need to go back in and do the next 8. Like, everything's done. Everything's written.
Oh, awesome.
Good.
Yeah, I finished the songwriting just a couple of weeks ago, actually. Because, I wrote kind of a third of what will now be the record right after the band breakup. Those are all the really angry songs. And then it took a while. I had another couple of bad jobs. My employment history was like... And now that the band is finally like all together and sorted, then I was able to write the last 2 songs. Excited. So we'll have a new record at some point.
Awesome.
Like in 25.
Yeah,
It'll
that's
get
awesome.
done. Maybe not till later in the summer. We'll see. Maybe sooner.
I feel like we'll take it any time, because 25 could be a rough.
Love it.
I know.
It'll be
a
rough.
roughie.
You know
It'll
what?
be perfect.
Well, you know what is so crazy is that, you know, the songwriting came out of like, am I aging out of the music business, you know, after it's basically put on hold, you know, for 2 years.
Yeah.
My band broke up with me. Did they all hate me? It felt like 5 guys broke up with me. And, you know, rage about, you know, the president and just everything going on in our world.
Yep.
And now all of that's really relevant.
Yeah.
This was
we're
not
back
written about Trump, but
Fitting.
could be.
Love it though. I really love what you've done. The 2 songs that I've heard.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm really excited now. We've got a new player in the band who's also really excited
I
to
saw
sing.
that.
Daisy Forrester.
Yeah.
She's from Dial Tone. Dial Tone, I think is the name of the band.
Oh, I don't know.
They're breaking up because one of them's, they're all graduating.
Okay.
One of them's leaving
Okay.
state.
Okay.
But yeah, it was kind of funny because my daughter's partner is like, oh my god, Daisy Forrester. Like, she's great. And I'm like, good. Have some
Like,
young
cool
people
mom.
show up.
Cool mom.
Sorry about it.
Right. Just several of them.
Yeah, I still have like 3 more days until I cut off people sending pictures. So it's almost.
Oh yeah,
done. I left a couple of spots.
I have a thing where taking a picture with you because I didn't dare to tear it out this morning. I was
Oh,
like,
cool. Oh, nice.
yeah.
Perfect.
I was like, we gotta do it.
Nice.
Gotta add to the list. Yeah, no, I love that.
And Liz Winstead's in it.
I saw that.
So that's cool.
I know.
Yeah, John Clifford set that up.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. I love that Hugh was in there too.
Yeah. Well, actually, I wasn't gonna have any guys in it, and I already like posted, you know, thank you, but no.
Yeah.
And then he sent one, and I was like, I guess I'll break the rule. So I have
I like that.
the
yeah.
very last panel. It's, you know, the very last panel I have. It's all men. So
I think that we
allies.
we have to invite them in.
we
and
had to
they'll
have
Yeah.
them. And you know, I've got a guy in my band.
Yeah. Yes.
That is favorite girls. Not going back.
Thank
we have
you.
Katy
That's
Vernon
so
in studio. It's
exciting.
very
It's
exciting.
so real to
Very
hear it on the
exciting.
radio. So exciting. It officially comes out January 3rd. And then it will be on all streaming services. And we're celebrating that night at the Astor Cafe with Katy Testament opening and then the full band playing. So we're going to be quite loud in the Astor. We'll
That's
have
good.
to try to be a little less loud. But it's fun having a loud band as well.
Yeah.
I
That's
haven't
very
really
fun.
ever done that. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
That's
That is
cool,
fun. I mean, that is fun, yeah.
folky. But whenever I do these like kind of tribute shows and different things, I love singing, pop rock, like
Well-
real rock, and I've kind of never done that, and I kept writing it, and I was like, I have no outlet for this. Why do I keep writing feminist rock songs? But now I do. So it feels
Well,
good.
and what I like so much about it, and I'd say this is the same with Katy Vernon and Favorite Girl, is it's feminist songs, but it's very uplifting.
Yes, very, very.
I think,
yeah.
well, in the Me Too Minneapolis, I think you had one of the most uplifting
Thank
Yeah.
you.
songs that were on, and there's a time and a place for everything.
Absolutely.
But
yeah.
the uplifting.
Yeah. Well, I needed to lift myself up. I felt very, not playing music for 18 months, sounds like, oh, wow, like get over it. But, it was my second job. It was a significant source of income. It was also so important for my mental health. And also another facet was that I used to travel to the UK every year to play ukulele events and, see my family. And I felt like that, it was like losing your left arm. You just didn't feel whole. And I took on some pretty heavy full-time jobs that were very soul-sucking. So yeah, I mourned music a lot. And also as a woman who, turned 50, the latter half of the pandemic, I'm 52 now, I also felt like this horrible, toxic feeling that I would age out and never get to do this again. And no one would ever want to hear from me again. And I literally had to snap myself out of all that rubbish and write songs that would cheer me up. So that's how the songs came
Because
out.
I think that's less true than it once was.
Yeah. No, it was all
very, very much
self-inflicted.
so. Yeah. Well, and no, it's not just self-inflicted because I think that people try to give that message out.
Yeah.
But then you look at who's showing up for different shows, and
It's true.
I see a lot of stinking music. Yeah, and
you do.
I
You
do. And the crowds may be different. They may be the same, but they're people are showing up for.
Yeah, and I think it's all a part of not getting in your own way, and also I get so bogged down, and I see this across the board with so many musicians right now, regardless of age, is that we are all doing everything, social media managing, booking. Every single aspect is very, very hard to have a team. Like people talk about having a team. Very few people have that. And so it's really soul-sucking because you're running a small business that is all about promoting yourself, and it feels like high school if people don't like you.
Yep.
And it's very, very toxic. So what I try to do, I've tried many things over the years, but one of the things I've been trying to do lately is just go back to the songwriting. And it's so basic, but I'm like, just write songs you're proud of. That's all you have to do. And everything else, can be kind of worked out in time. But it can't be, this sole 24 hours a day focus of promoting yourself. Because I don't know anyone that likes doing that.
I was going to ask too, just because we were talking about it, can you tell us who is in the band too? Because I'm really excited and want to hear.
It's such a great group of people. So, well, first of all, we're not an all-girl band. Some people think we are, but we're a mostly female band. We have one guy in the band. He's our token man, and he's called Paul Odegaard on trumpet. He's amazing. And then in the band, we've got Elise Emmanuel, who I know that I'm biased, but I seriously think she's the best drummer in town. She is also drumming with Kiss the Tiger now, so go see them every Thursday.
She was
this
awesome
month.
the other
She's
night.
incredible,
Just-
and just such a ray of sunshine.
Yeah.
I mean, just on stage and off, just so positive and just wonderful, and so talented. On lead guitar, we have Ali Piccola. And she used to be a bass player. She's been in a few bands as a bass player. And she was kind of itching. She's a teacher. She's a busy woman. But she was itching to play music again. only if she could be a lead guitarist. And she was like, I don't know, if I'm lead guitarist material. And she's amazing. I always look to her if I forget what a chord is, because she knows every single. She's very good at music theory. She's got a very, very good ear. And her and Elise were in a couple of bands together when they were teenagers. So that's adorable, and they're longtime friends. And then we just recruited on the 2 records that we've released already, Barb Brinstad, who is legendary in the Minneapolis music scene. She's in Turn, 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 the One Hit Wonders. She is incredible, and she recorded the first 2 songs with us. But she has stepped back because she's very, very busy. And we just recruited Daisy Forrester, who is, she was in Dial Tone. They're wrapping things up, and she's excited to jump on board. So a very young, very talented, and funnily enough, all of them have a connection to She-Rock. And the Girls Rock and Roll Camp. They all went through that and picked up instruments because of that. So,
well, now I take the opportunity to ask you to talk a little bit more about it and what you're doing later in the day.
Yeah, well, it feels like such a busy musical day, which I love. Because after this, I'm going to be heading over to the Hook and Ladder and helping. I'm going to be the MC, which is the first time I've done that officially for someone else. I'm going to be the MC for the She-Rock fundraiser today, and it's called Rock and Roulette, and it is for brand new bands of women who are new to music, of various levels, some of them brand new to music, and they all formed bands, I believe, just as recently as October, and they've written their own songs. They'll play covers, there'll be some surprises, lots of items to raffle off, and they'll all be playing in a showcase today at the Hook. Doors are at 5, the music starts at 6, and the goal is to raise $10,000. So please show up and throw your money at them. And then the incredible Annie and the Bang Bang are headlining, so it's going to be a good show. And it's $20 to get in, so that's very reasonable for 5 bands. And it'll be cool. When you're supporting Girls Rock and Roll Camp, and She-Rock is the umbrella organization, you are not only supporting people of all ages discovering music, which is so therapeutic on so many levels, but also, their camps literally are churning out the musicians of tomorrow. And I was able to find people to play in my band because I narrowed my search deliberately to only look for women. And, it can be kind of hard to find a woman bass player and a drummer. There's a lot of female keyboardists, no slight to anybody on what they choose to pick up. But because of Girls Rock and Roll Camp, there are now much more people that you can reach and find to be in your bands because they've gone through that. So it's a very great thing. And Jenny Case should have a lot of attention and kudos because she founded it, I believe, 18 years ago.
Wow.
And whole generations of people have come out of that band, including now 3 members of Favorite Girl. So I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Well, I guess I knew that some instruments are harder to find people for, but I hadn't really thought about it from that perspective.
Yeah, some things. I mean, lead guitar is very like cis male, kind of coded. It's, if you think about the classic, big show off kind of guitar licks, and and there's no reason why that should be. Women can be very dramatic on stage. We know how to do that.
Yes.
And talent doesn't have a gender. So it's all about seeing examples and being fearless. Just having that encouragement. And I would like to say it's for gender expansive folks as well. So it's a great organization. And I'm a camp mom. My own kids went to She-Rock camps, I think 3 years in a row. So they very, very much enjoyed it and had a good time.
Well, I think you should say the representation is so important.
It really is.
But I applaud people who start a band in October and play in December.
I know, it's so brave.
What a goal to have. That would be.
And the campers, the girls, that do the summer camps, I mean, they do that, in a week or 2 weeks, They form, they make T-shirts, they do logos, they, and then they perform at the end of the week. It's pretty incredible. And having been, the proud mom down in the pit, watching them, It was just so good for their confidence, you know, because people are like, well, I don't know how to play anything. It's like, that's fine. And so many great, you know, musicians in the cities, you know, Barb Grinstead, you know, obviously is one, Mary Bew, you know, people give up their time and, you know, teach or mentor, you know, during these camps. So they get a lot out of it too.
Yeah.
I know Mary really, you know, it was such a kind of feel good thing for her to be involved in. So.
Well, you know, as a former teacher, you always learn when you teach.
Yeah.
You know, and you always up your game when you're teaching.
Right.
You're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, better
Somebody's
study.
Yeah. Somebody's paying attention here.
Yeah, we can't all be writing our B's backwards.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, it's so funny that you mentioned that because I did an ABBA show last night and we had the ABBA Salutely Fab logo up behind us. And very loudly during the first song, one lady said, "One of those B's is backwards." I'm like, that's how ABBA did it.
On
not a
purpose,
mistake,
ma'am.
but
On
it was
purpose.
very, very funny. One of those B's. It was kind of funny. People, you know, I think, especially post-pandemic, people don't know that we can hear them on stage. I feel like there's been... I mean,
The third wall is broken and not in a good way.
I think so. It's like, you know, people, I think people kind of forgot how to behave themselves in public.
Oh.
You know, the phones and the chatting. But I do honestly think, you know, some people get really mad about it. Usually it just kind of makes me laugh. Or I'll just call them out, you know, and ask them what they're looking at on their phone. But I think people literally don't think that we can hear them. I don't know. It's an interesting thing.
I know that people certainly don't think there are other cars on the road.
That's true.
And that's a post-pandemic, you know, I just think, we got so used
things
to...
have shifted.
Yeah.
Like we were all just, you know, watching Netflix.
Floating in our own
not
little
driving,
bubbles.
maybe.
Yeah.
Love it.
Kind of funny.
You have brought a ukulele
I
into...
did.
Would you ever delight us with a song?
Yeah. Well, I thought, you know, it's quite festive. You mentioned that you're taking... Are you taking the whole month of January off, or do you have to relocate somewhere?
What it is we go by campus rules, and they have J term. Every
Okay.
semester we reapply, and
Yeah.
thankfully every semester they see us. But it'll be February before we're back.
Oh, sure.
It's-
Okay. Well,
you
thank
know?
you for having me in.
Oh,
Well,
worked out perfectly.
So I thought that I should sing my holiday song.
Please.
It's a bit of a sad, miserable song because I'm British, but it's just how we celebrate. All right, here we go. All the stores are full of shiny and pretty things, bubbles and bows and chocolate and diamond rings, and all that glitter and gold makes my head spin. But the only stuff that matters ain't a thing. It's never gonna be the same, so it's gonna be a shame, 'cause I know my Christmas wish ain't coming true. So I gotta find a way to make it through the holiday, when the only thing I want is you. This time of year's always a little hard, and I can't say how I feel in a simple card. So I try my best to hang up my pretty lights, but without you here they never shine so bright. It's never gonna be the same, so it's gonna be a shame, 'cause I know my Christmas wish ain't coming true. So I gotta find a way to make it through the holiday, when the only thing I want is you. You did all the things that this season brings. Without you here we try to carry on, but you're in our hearts and you're on our minds, and I hope you know you're never gone. It's never gonna be the same, so it's gonna be a shame, 'cause I know my Christmas wish ain't coming true. So I gotta find a way to make it through the holiday, when the only thing I want is you. I gotta find a way to make it through the holiday, when the only thing I want is you.
Yay! This is Katy Vernon of Favorite Girl. on Mostly Minnesota Music on WMCN 91.7 FM in St. Paul.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. I have spent very few Christmases away from my family, which mostly means St. Paul. The first one I spent was in London. I was mugged Christmas night.
No! Oh, I'm so sorry.
Welcome to Harlesden, baby.
That is sadly such a London story. Yeah. I was so excited to take my kids this summer, and I'm like, let's go to Brighton, the most beautiful, magical seaside town. And my kid got mugged. So
no!
Yeah. I mean, her purse was stolen. Yeah, it was
I
very,
think Brighton
very
is
sad.
kind of magical, but I'm a sucker for a 10p machine. So, but you wrote a whole album there, did you not?
I probably wrote about half of Suit of Hearts there, and a lot of that came out of I had gone over for a ukulele, a couple of different ukulele festivals. First time I'd ever done anything like that, and literally day one of that first festival, I thought I either need to throw my ukulele out the window, or I need to really, really, really work hard and become a better ukulele player, because it was so intimidating, but also so inspiring. And so luckily I chose the just work harder route.
Yes,
so
I
went, right after that, and I spent 10 days in Brighton, which was magical, because every day all I did was go for a walk, walk down to the sea, and then try to write a song. And half the album was written during that time, and more importantly, lots and lots of confidence began to kind of poke its head up, which was great.
I think sometimes that time well spent alone.
I had never had time alone. It's like, anyone who knows, my bio, it's like, I'm a little sad orphan. I've certainly had lots of loneliness and stuff throughout my life, but I also got married really young. Yeah. So I graduated college, I got married at 21. I've really never been on my own, and I recommend it to anyone. I think especially if you're a mother and you absolutely don't even have your body, to yourself, but just to anybody, like anyone can benefit from a few days alone. It can also be, obviously a difficult thing too, but it was really a gift.
Well, and you sort of allude to a very important difference between being alone and being lonely.
Yeah.
So you can be lonely in a crowded room. We've all been there. But But I think that
time, opening line to one of my songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. And actually that song, I wrote a song called Somebody's Daughter's Daughter. I felt so alone in the universe in that way. And then I got to spend some time with my cousin in Wales, and we walked kind of the beaches of Wales, and I had such a powerful feeling that, oh my gosh, this is where I'm from. I'm from a whole line of powerful women. The stories I hear, they were all pretty ballsy, and my mom was a single child, out of wedlock, in small town Wales, in the 30s. I'm like, her mom was definitely breaking some rules. And so I felt a connection to these women that I'd never ever met. So it was pretty cool. Yeah.
I just think it's, and I think at all ages, but I think especially after a certain age, because I think you can lean into it a little bit more. And maybe it's unfair for me to say that. Maybe that's just me. But I think it's you are more comfortable in your skin.
Yeah.
And you can walk down. It's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely wish, it's a constant journey to become confident. And I have a little pin on my ukulele strap here that says, Lord, give me the confidence of a mediocre white man.
Yes.
And it's on my ukulele strap for a reason, because, I'm not trying to man bash when I'm, up on stage. It's all in good jest. I'm happily married. I love men, some of them. But it is, it's my lifelong journey to stop apologizing for who I am, and let go of all of my, ridiculous insecurities, and I like to share the lessons of, like, pick up an instrument earlier. I wished I had. Don't be afraid to kind of, make a mistake on stage. It's not the end of the world. Just keep putting yourself out there. If that's what you want to do, that's my lived experience. Most people probably don't want to be on stage in sparkly pants, making mistakes and laughing. But for me, it's been really liberating. It's been a good thing. So.
It's more fun to see something see, like Heather's heard me say this a million times. When there's an element of, danger, there's a little overstatement there, but you love when something different happens.
Yeah. And I think, I was chatting with Jenny Case, to mention She-Rock again. We were chatting because she was saying it's really, really hard to get women out to do jams. And I thought, well, because I wouldn't want to do that. I don't enjoy that. And a lot of men do. And it does kind of go down gender lines. And I think it's because as a female musician, you are held to a different standard. Like if you are in an all-girl band, you're immediately looked at that you're probably not going to be as good. Like, is that a gimmick? Are they even good? Can they even play? And we're judged on our looks a lot too. So, there's a lot of prejudgment that I think, your average dude stepping on a stage doesn't have. And I'm not in any way, I don't know what their experience is. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I have been around this for 30 years. I have seen a lot of stuff. And it's presumed that I don't know where to plug things in. It's presumed that maybe my boyfriend's also in the band. I was told once I couldn't redeem a drink ticket because it was only for band members. And I said, well, I am in the band. And they doubled down and said, for people actually in the band, not girlfriends. And I just thought, what part of me doesn't look like a musician? Yeah. Oh, wait, all of me in your mind doesn't look like a musician, and that's not okay. But yeah, just I think we all just need to judge ourselves just less harshly, because if you just get out there and do what you love, people will enjoy it. People will root for you. Yeah.
I was gonna say I love your transparency and your empowerment and just the way, or I read on your media page too, of celebrating other women and their accomplishments. I'm just like, what a easy, nice gesture that can help propel other, you know?
Thank you. Well, there's shows I see on the daily, because social media is so toxic and I should put it away, and then I don't, and I look at it and it's like flipping through the yearbook, that you're left out of certain pages. I say that as if I haven't had a yearbook. I'm British. I never had one. But I was the yearbook mom at my kids' school for a few years. But it feels like a constant contest, and it really is ridiculous, because I have to remind myself that the people that I usually, that kind of trigger my jealousy are actually my friends. They're the people I am rooting for. And just because I know them and we're in the same town doesn't mean they're getting a piece of pie I'm not getting. Mm-hmm. If they were multi-famous on a global level, I wouldn't even give two thoughts. But because they're on a stage that I want to be on, I kind of think, oh, I feel left out. And that's a legitimate feeling, but I still want to root for them. I want everybody to do well. Because ultimately then they're taking up space that is going to someone good, because they're great. So I want to root for them and celebrate them. Not to say that I don't, constantly feel like I wanted to be a part of that show. What did I not do right? But a lot of it comes down to luck and friendships and, I book my friends. I make a concerted effort to always look outside. Yeah.
Especially when you were in you do.
Well, and I'm getting more and more opportunities. And so rather than just trying to book more people, I really am digging deep. It's no longer acceptable for me to have even 50-50 kind of representation. I want to aim for more than that. And, I still have people in my bubble that I need to get outside of my own bubble and book. So that's a constant goal to do that. And it's a huge privilege to be asked, because, I do remember quite well not being able to get a single gig. So every now and then I do have to stop and go, okay, I have gotten somewhere, which feels good.
Yeah. And maybe, too, others don't think that of you because you are the booker or connector. They don't think, I should ask.
Well, it's funny because I actually, speaking of social media, I put something out there, I don't know, just a couple of weeks ago, and just said, the up and down of rejection is hard. It's real. And, a few people kind of made comments, and one person was just like, but do you ever not, get the gigs you want? Katy, Vernon? I was like, are you kidding me?
But that's
daily. Always. There's so many I don't get. You got to
But I'm
keep trying.
glad somebody pointed that out because I do
Yeah.
think that is real. Like they're like,
Yeah.
she's booking, she's doing all
Everybody
this.
who's busy has way more rejection
Yeah.
than acceptance. I mean, you know, of course you get to some certain level where, you know, you probably get what you want and you have people on the payroll, but every single busy musician I know it doesn't get, you know, at least 8 gigs for the one that you see them get. So, if not more. So,
Oof.
yeah, you gotta have thick skin.
I know.
On that note,
Yeah.
On that
pun
note,
intended. Would you place another beautiful song
yeah,
there?
I'll play. This is a not yet recorded favorite
Ooh.
girls song.
Ooh,
So
thank
this goes out to all the men who've given me advice over the years.
You know you can't say the F word in the studio, right?
Oh,
I'm
there
just
are
kidding.
no F words.
I'm just
I'm
kidding.
a very clean. I'm a very
I
clean
know.
singer. Okay, here we go. Thank you for always telling me what to do. I don't know what I'd do without you. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know what I'd do without you. You're always telling me what to do. Thank you. Showing me where to plug in the guitar. I'm already playing. Thank you. Interrupting me to explain what I was already saying. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know what I'd do without you. My little lady back is confused. Thank you. Thank you. You said I'd be nothing without you. And I should never ever doubt you. Thank you. Saying that I ought to read a book you read. I don't think you noticed that I wrote it. Saying that I ought to share my work with you. You never read it. You took the credit. Thank you for always telling me what to do. I don't know what I'd do without you. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know what I'd do without you. My little lady back is confused. Thank you. Why do you think you have to show me? I'm pretty sure that you don't know me. I know you think you know it all. That I'm just too emotional. Thank you for your long explanations. Thank you for your low expectations. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your bad communication. Thank you for no cooperation. Thank you. Thank you. I can't remember how it ends. The end.
Katy, Vernon, favorite girl. That might be my new favorite song of yours.
Yeah, a lot of people like that one.
Are you kidding me? The humor, the uplifting.
A lot
People
of
can listen
humor,
to it.
yeah.
You know, it's the you.
Yeah.
You know how we used to sing to those songs that we didn't realize the words were so bad from a
Yeah.
feminist perspective, and then it was just having. It wasn't feminist, but it was Queen walking down the street with a machine gun in his hand.
Oh,
You know, like
wow.
oh yeah.
Yeah. That's
If
funny.
you can get people to sing that
Yes.
and then hear the
well,
then
you
hear
know,
the words.
That's, you know, yeah, so it's like a lot of sugar with the medicine. And, you know, another one I just finished is called Confetti. And it's all about, you know, literally it's just a really catchy chorus of like throw your own confetti, like celebrate yourself. And it's all about, yeah, just like empowerment and not competing with other people. And it's really like the toxic stuff that has made me crazy for at least the last 4 years, and let's face it, probably 20. And it's me trying to turn that around on its head and make something positive out of it. Because if I'm sad and feeling unappreciated, and I'm the person who gets, you know, I've created a life where I get to jump around in sparkles on stage, and I'm feeling kind of down and unheard, then, you know, that is why I invited other people to be part of the video, because I was like, I do have an outlet. I've made this fun, crazy, you know, little life for myself, and it brings me so much joy. And everyone should get to feel that. No one should feel invisible and unheard. And right now, I think a lot of us feel very unheard.
On that note, I'm going to say,
Thanks for having me.
when and where would be a good time to hear you? Well, you could the show this afternoon, and then the release on
the
January
release
3rd.
January 3rd. So January 3rd at the Astor Cafe. It's 9 p.m. So Katy Tessman will start the night, and then we'll have Favorite Girl play. And that's our only local show booked until probably the summer. We're going to do the Big Turn Fest, which will be a ton of fun.
Yay.
We were booked to do it last year when I got COVID. So
I remember.
Oh, it was so lost. It was literally the day
Heartbreaking.
before, you know, so there was just nothing. Nothing we could do about it. But we're very, very grateful that they are having us back so that we can make our Big Turn debut. And so come on out, because really the rest of the beginning half of 2025 will be recording. We have a lot of practicing and recording to do.
Awesome.
I have one more question too. Tell us about your merch, because I love it, and I know that
you. Well, so both of my daughters are artists. One just graduated MCAD. My younger daughter is in her third year at the University of Art Chicago. So they're both very busy artists, and she made a beautiful logo. So it's a silhouette of a woman. It's actually my face. I had her slightly alter the chin because yes, I am vain still. I'll admit it. I was like, I love it. Make the chin a little smaller. And so she made a beautiful design. And so those t-shirts already exist, and they're for sale at any of our shows. But then also we're running a GoFundMe. So if you go to GoFundMe, which I've never done a GoFundMe before, but I like the model because it's just kind of slow and steady, and you don't have to bombard people with all or nothing funding. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I was just like, with the election and Christmas, the New Year, I don't want to be asking people for money every single day. So if you want to look up our GoFundMe, you can, you will, no matter what amount you give, you'll get the full record when it's done. And then if you want merch, it will all be, you know, whatever you want to give to that project, then we can discuss what you get. I didn't want people just to get kind of a thing made out of plastic or a sticker or something they didn't even want. So you tell me what you want. If it's a t-shirt, if it's going to be, you know, a record, but no matter what, you'll get the music. And Daisy designed this one, and she just designed another new design. I'm like showing it as if people can see, but are we still filming?
Yep.
Okay, so people can see.
Yes.
So she just made another beautiful design. So we'll have a couple of different t-shirts available for people. So,
nice. Thank you so much for bringing your music.
Thank you.
And yes.
Yeah, right.
Right. All right.
Back.
What are we gonna listen to next year, Heather?
We have Zoo Animal with 1986 model.
What are you up to after this?
I finished.
Oh, is it on?
No. We were all